man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and Company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture.
Yes, greetings and welcome to the Everything Agriculture Show. It's another Friday evening. It's the 26th, which means it's, what should it be? Walk up time? What do you call it? Juve? Yeah.
They call it Boxing Day.
Oh, we thought a walk up day. Our Boxing Day. My apologies.
Well,
Okay, all right. Juve, Boxing Day, entertainment. All right, let's say thank you guys for tuning in to the Everything Agriculture Show. It's the last Friday of the month, so we choose to dedicate this show to viewers appreciation show. So you guys will have a chance to call in, which was your favorite show throughout the year, and they review what we have done when it comes to the Everything Agriculture Show, the type of shows we had, the guest. If you feel like Yahsonn and myself was here doing a good job, I would just say farming full till us get off the TV and go find something, go stopping with farm or whatever. Whatever it is, we all want to share your call in, make your comment. We appreciate it. And also we'll do the same thing on the Tuesday for the topics, viewers appreciation, the year review, and what some of the guests we had also on some of the topic and whatever on your mind, you're all free to speak on this evening and stuff like that. So let me say good evening to the folks, whoever listen to the sound of my voice. And those, if you're first-time listener, it's Everything Agriculture is an educational show. So good evening to the folks. Ole and Leia Mega, which we always say is the traditional name. And hopefully one day we'll get these things switched up and put in on all documents, legal documents. Also good evening to the folks in the Neighboring Islands, the folks also in the diaspora, wherever you're at, all over in Asia, Europe. Greatly appreciate it. I know it's the festive season here in the St. Kitts and Nevis Carnival season, and also it's the Christmas season throughout the most places. So I hope you're all having a good time and getting all the gifts you all wanted and make it productive. And I know usually people tend to want to have the New Year resolution and all this different stuff like that, but still willing to commitment and dedication. So whatever you choose to make, commit to it, stick with it. You got everything you do, you got to put in the time. So that's just a boy along too. So yes, tonight is dedicated to the viewers, the listeners. It's your show. You all who make the Everything Agriculture Show. You all been supporting it for over the last 5 years, and then you're still supporting it. So this show is for you guys. You guys have 2 hours of time to call in and talk about what you all talk about. Mess with me and Yahsonn, whatever. We can take it. We build tough like food. So minor matters. We don't take things to take things personal either, because we're not like that. constructive criticism, and you want to make us better in what we do. All right. So, Yahsonn, good evening to you.
Yeah, global greetings and greetings, Banky, and greetings to Oli and Liamiga and to all of us who are locked in wherever you may be. It's a pleasure to be here on another Friday evening. We would have done a lot of things throughout the what they call the Gregorian calendar year that we function within in these spaces. So we are coming at almost the end of it, and like we usually, tell folks, what we do is farming, and in farming you ain't got no day off. So we really don't, take no day off, so to speak, in terms of what we do here. Tonight, we may take a break, so to speak, from zooming in on any specific agricultural topic and just free up tonight. We just want people to feel free to call in if you want to congratulate, as Banky would have said, if you want to, criticize constructively. I mean, we're open to that. We can take it. I mean, just don't disrespect the platform. Don't, I mean, and that's fine with us. We take it and we look at it and we seek to improve and become better. The numbers are sliding across the screens. If you're listening, we want to encourage you to go on over to the YouTube platform. If it's one thing we would want you to do for us, if it's one thing you can do for us, and it doesn't cost you anything, absolutely nothing, other than for you to go on over to YouTube, look for Real Entertainment Network, like, subscribe, click on the notification bell so that anytime we're having a program on the platform, you would be notified. That is all we are asking. We're not asking you for $1,000,000. We're not asking you for $200. We're not asking you for $500. Just take a minute, go on over to the YouTube platform, look for Real Entertainment Network, like it, subscribe to it, click on the notification bell. It would be nice too if you share it as well, share the link and let people know that, this platform is here and that's what's going on. And that's how we look forward to. And we look forward to speaking with, and or whether it's via the platform, YouTube, Twitch TV, or YouTube, the folks who are going to make their comments on the wall, those who are going to call in. The numbers are available because we have both platforms where sometimes there are folks who listen and don't necessarily want to call in, but would give their comments on whether it's YouTube or Facebook platform and or Twitch, and we stream there simultaneously. So we want people to understand that. I see Banky is putting up a book also. Tonight we're probably going to give away a couple of these books to some folks. I don't know what questions Banky may have exactly to put forward or what would qualify you. I guess he would explain a little bit more about that a little bit later. But yeah, we want to do that, and we want to thank all of you. We want to take this time to thank all of you who would have journeyed with us, not just through this year, but as Banky would have mentioned, we have been doing this not only here, but also we were on 2020 Vision Radio before. And so we, still continued over those years right here as we continue on this platform, Real Entertainment Network. For over 5 years, we have been doing this. So, as the old folks would say, we're not just a come in this thing, man. Some of you might just hear about us, but we have been around doing this, and we really want to thank a lot of you who have been following us from those years. Banky, from time to time, I still meet a lot of people who would ask me, I mean, where are you? Because we don't hear you anymore. Because there's some people who are not necessarily online. They don't subscribe to the online. They only used to hear us on the radio. So, I would take the time and tell them, log into YouTube or log into Facebook and, subscribe to the platform and so on. So, for those of you who are listening as well, you can share that as well to folks and let them know, we're still here, but we are, located on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch TV. And if you subscribe to the YouTube platform, as we are encouraging you to do so, even tonight, if there's one thing we want all of you who log on tonight to do, go to the YouTube platform, like, subscribe, share, click on the notification bell so you're notified when we do have a program. Bankie showing you the book, Cash is Queen. Cash is Queen. And we're going to be giving away a couple of these books this evening. We want to encourage our young ladies, our girls, females, and our boys as well too. So not because, it may be written by a lady and kind of more geared towards ladies. The main thing is about finance, learning about money, learning how to manage money, learning how to use money to empower yourselves into becoming entrepreneurs and or function just like how, as they would say, the 1% function. So you get an opportunity to learn from pretty early. And one of the things I like about this is that it touches on a very weak area in our education system, because we don't necessarily teach our people and children to become entrepreneurs and to become serious business people and learn how to manage money and manage wealth. And these are things, they're skills that are very much needed and very much lacking. And still in 2025, we don't have proper programs other than in selected areas where you learn about maybe POB and accounting and so on, and you learn it in an abstract way, so to speak, to the point where it is more learned as a skill for the individuals to function in a business or a company that is already established. So you find a lot of our people, when I used to teach at a point, and I would ask children these questions, okay, what do you want to do? What do you want to study? And even today, as I travel and journey, I meet young people and they would ask them things like that. And they may tell me, oh, well, I'm studying business management. So do you plan to open your own business and so on when you come back? No, I plan to work for somebody. Or somebody studying law, but they plan to come back and work for a large law firm or something like that, but not necessarily thinking of empowering themselves to that level where, they're their own bosses and could be their own bosses and all that. And this is the kind of level of thinking that we're hoping that we could start to stimulate in our young people. And so that book, we would have had the author of the book on our platform already as a guest, and we do appreciate the serious contributions that she's making for St. Kitts and Nevis, the UK, and all of the other areas that she's touching with this book internationally. I really hope and pray that our people can maybe even consider, as we are giving it away tonight to a couple of people, purchasing one of these books, and make sure that every little girl that you have at home have one of these books. And you yourself, especially if you're a single mother, we really do share with the females and so on. I mean, it's all about women empowerment and so on. We are not threatened by women being empowered to have their own businesses and even making more money than the men. Those things are not, we're not threatened by those things. I know a lot of people are, but in these times, especially if you have girl children and so on, you really want to be able to empower your children so that they don't have to be dependent on anyone or anything or any government or any, to function. And so these are some of the things that we want to be able to empower them, and empower them to be so independent that they're not dependent on anyone, but they're able to add to the development and create, different ventures that may then help to add other products and services that we need to take us to, another level and higher heights. So, I mean, this is what we're hoping for this evening, for you to just, call in, weigh in, critique us if you want to critique us, send greetings. And so at this time, while I wrap up here and give Bankie another opportunity to weigh in, for those who celebrate Christmas, I don't. But for those who do, and we know maybe a lot of our followers do, we want to, hope that you had a wonderful time. And for those of you who are more caught up with the, as Bankie would have highlighted earlier, the revelry, the jamming and the partying and all that, just want to encourage you to, be safe. And if you're going to drink, have a designated driver so that we could not have, any accidents and incidents and so on. And just hope that, it's clean and free. And I would have heard, oh, Bankie, I want to make a little comment before I hope, I wish that the election results could be as fast as the road march results. If we could have that happening, things would be very wonderful for us in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this is not a light moment. I'm being realistic because I'm seeing the results for road march and so on already announced and all that. But yeah, I'm going to let you get back in, Bankie. Give thanks.
Yes, yes, and I just want to thank the listening audience that tonight is your show, and we'll have a few questions to give away a few books. I mean, I think it's important that each and every one of us can't have enough knowledge when it comes about finance. Guys, I mean, we all love to see everything and we all love to spend. So it's important that we teach our young ones, and this is the ideal book that each household at least should have within it. So definitely, we're going to have some fun tonight. Remember, my WhatsApp is back on, so I can take international calls and WhatsApp also and local calls. So both numbers is up 100%, so that is fine. So let me say thanks again for you guys to tuning in. You didn't have to tune in these times. It's your vacation time or holiday time. So, but you all still to stick with us, which means you guys have an interest when it comes to the environment and the food you all eat and the well-being of your survival. So we really appreciate that. Appreciate you guys, and we're definitely looking forward for you all for the interaction this evening and stuff like that. So, Yahsonn, I mean, you're gonna ask some question the same when you're ready, but let me go back and say thanks to JT Taylor who had donated these books, and also donated some to different people and stuff like that. So it's working well, and you gotta give thanks. I mean, when viewers stand up and put themselves forward and make donations and stuff like that, which I appreciate and help out a different household, especially when one listen to these shows and we have give some time to time. Remember, we are open to sponsorship. If you love the show and you have a business and you want to sponsor and the Everything Agriculture show or sponsor on the topics, that is fine. I mean, you get in contact with Yahsonn and myself or Ira, and we work out something and we're good to go. So definitely looking forward for the future prospect, sponsorship for those who are listening and stuff like that. Because what we're doing here is community effort. You understand? We don't have no big sponsorship behind of us. What the sponsorship that we're doing is we ourselves doing our own thing. Shabazz Organics at Mansell's Last Stops. At the same time, I'm reaping sorrel, pumpkin, tomatoes, bell peppers, cucumbers, cassavas, two type of watermelon, the crimson sweet, which is the round one with the skin, and the Charleston grey, elongated one, and you still have plantain and okra and green bananas and stuff like that. So come out if you want to get a tour of the farm if you're visiting for the season. You can get a tour if you want to learn about irrigation system, composting, greenhouse, hydroponic system. We do workshops at the farm, hands theory and practical. That's all I can do. You get a theory part, and you'll also get the notes I always get the notes to go back with and stuff like that. So come out, support, and I'll give thanks for all those who supporting Mansell's Last Stop and Shabazz Organics over the last year. So I also want to big up my cousin Aisha and Amanis, who holding on the fort, and Tasha. So big up yourself. Hope you all enjoying your Christmas season. So Yahsonn, I'm not sure if you have a favorite show or anything that was that can brought your memory back and that had an impact and stuff like that. So, but I could start off. All for me, all the guests that I had on the show, is very important, and I specifically select each guest when the meditation hit me and they come across. I just approach and everything work out fine and stuff like that. So I really appreciate all those who accept my invitation to come on the Everything Agriculture show, and then also those who still to come on the topic. So it's two different shows. So it's a lot of guests. It's weekly. So some people don't even know how I do it. I don't know what they simply take me on for. Because they're just as bad as me. But I guess this is something that I don't. But I'm just going along with it at the same time. So I appreciate those who accept the invitation all the time and don't, and I mean that, and even those who reach out to come on the show podcast, they seem to think they love our way of line of questioning and the way we go about it. So I guess we're doing something right. Let me say this. I have no training in media, nothing like that. I mean, I just be myself and we go with the flow, and that's all it is. So, and that's the best way to work with it. We just do reasoning, we ain't giving no skit. So if you're coming on this show, ain't nothing let me just tell you what reason about this, boom, 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 and that's it. Me ain't get into direct don't question and all the thing there. And it's all about having fun at the same time. We give information to the listening audience and get the right answers out, and that's what it's all about. We're just being fair and balanced. All sides are welcome to come in, whether it's PLP, whether it's NRP, whether it's CCM, it's PAM. It doesn't matter. Independent, it doesn't matter. What we want is to extract the information from you, and that at least it makes sense to the taxpayers. So we find all the hidden parts and we extract it and bring it out that other media would not do. And that is what we are here for. But my thing in small spaces, I must say I must big up the backyard king, Mull. You know what I mean? Yeah, Mull is the backyard king. I mean, if you got Mull yard, I mean, no space is too small. Everything. That's the ideal model when it comes to small space. I think he has mastered that. He had invested a lot in it, and the dance could pay for the light. And I just want to big up Mull on that part of it, along with also female in agriculture, Helen's daughter. That is something always, as someone who have a lot of sisters and still have all daughters, I'm one who always more deal with female more balance, because what a man can do, a female can do too. Whether it's driving a truck, flying a plane, agriculture, you don't know the food is grown. So Helen's daughter definitely want to big them up, based out in St. Lucia, and then still branch off into St. Vincent, and he have a branch in St. Kitts and Nevis. So big up Tricia King. I mean, she's the local coordinator also. So also big up all the female farmers here. Nevis, those into agro processing, even those who into fishing or whatever it is and stuff like that. So even when we say agriculture, just want to know, from my perspective, I mean anyone in the sector. It does not mean crops. It could be animals. It can be in whatever it is to be into the meat processing. Doing this all agriculture, the valued part of it, and that's what it's all about. Yahsonn?
Yeah, Bankie, I want to go back to the very, very good gesture by Jetty Taylor, and it demonstrates, the sort of listenership and the sort of encouragement that we get from, people who realize that we are just genuinely looking to share information. We are passionate about agriculture, and we seek to, as you mentioned, just be free and open. We are open to any, whether it's political party, whether it's public group, whether it's just an individual on the road, whether it's somebody who's having some sort of issue or problem, and we have just done that. So we have that diversity, and I think people who do listen to our programs recognize that, we just, as we would say locally, we just keep it real. And as you would always say, we don't butter up anything. We don't nice it up. If we got to ask you something, we ask you a question. If you don't feel like answering, you just say, well, you don't want to answer or whatever it is. We can't force it out of you, but at least we ask the question. If you choose to dodge it, if you choose to play around it or walk around it, if we feel like you're doing that and we want to let you know that we realize that you're doing that, and we want to put you on the spot and ask you again, or maybe rephrase it. Yeah, well, we do that, and then if really and truly you don't want to answer it, tell us you don't want to answer it, and we just keep it real. And so we over the time and over the various different guests that we would have had over the years, we would have garnered, like we said, listenership from even back when we were on 2020 Vision Radio, and some of them have followed us here on Real Entertainment Network, and Jetty Taylor would be one such follower as well. And I remembered when we had that show, and that was a very pivotal show as well, when we had It's Davinia Johnson, right? That's the name of the author of the book. Your mic is muted.
Davicia.
Davicia Johnson. Okay, Davicia Johnson.
No,
um,
Tomlinson. Davicia
Tomlinson, sorry. Oh
Tomlinson.
my, well, Tomlinson.
Yes.
Sorry, my bad. I remember when she was on the program, the platform with us. Um, Jetty Taylor was one of the followers, and he did mention that he was going to invest in these books, and he was going to, as you mentioned, give us the opportunity to give them out to, as
Yes.
questions and so on, and the program and so on. And I can say over the years that he has been one of the listeners who, as we would say, put his money where his mouth is. He don't just talk. If he say he's going to do something, he does that.
Yes,
And I really want to appreciate, him. And apart from that as well, um, he is also, if anybody follows, you would realize that he can be a very staunch critic as well. So he's not afraid to, if he think we're saying
yes,
something that he don't appreciate and so on,
yes,
he's gonna drop a little point in there and say, "Bye, no man, Bankie, Yahsonn, no." I mean, people who know him too would know that. I mean, he love, as we would say,
yes, sir.
making jokes and thing, right? And he keep it lively. If you don't know him and you want to take it serious and so on, it's up to you. But we know, as we say, we take it as constructive criticism, and we are open to that. I mean, if you're doing something and everybody loves what you're doing, maybe something is definitely wrong with what you're doing. So you're gonna have people out there who are gonna love what you do, and some who might have some issues with what you say or what you do, and that is just life. And as I said at Bankie, I also want to point out something that a listener point out to me, and several listeners over the years would have done that. And it was just a couple of days ago when I passed by you and the lady that was there. One of the things that we discussed, she was telling me that she loved how me and you don't agree at times, and we disagree on here, right? And whatever issue it is, and it demonstrates that ability that sometimes a lot of our youth lack, where they're unable to agree to disagree and still get along and still continue, because we may disagree on whatever point it is, but that's it. I mean, I tell you how my point, how I may look at it, and you might stop and say, well, okay, maybe I never looked at it that way, and okay, you got me. You might respond and say, well, no, I mean, see it so, and you know what I mean, but we disagree, and that's it. We ain't come back next week. We ain't going home, we vex one another, we're gonna fight, we get into some kind of argument and so on. So I love that we are able to demonstrate things like that. Just being real, because we want people to realize me and you could be friends, but we don't have to agree on everything. Me and you know, even become me and your
Exactly.
brethren.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That we got to agree on everything. Because me and you don't disagree. I mean, in reasoning when we
All the
meet one
time.
another, and
Yes.
even publicly. I mean, but that's what
Of
it is.
course. We are not
And
here
we are
to hide up
brethren.
things, We are here to keep it real. I mean, if I say something, you ain't got to agree with. Nothing is wrong with that. Nothing is
Exactly.
wrong with that. And that is
But
how we learn from each other. That's it.
some people have problems with that. They don't see, so they feel like you have to agree because me and your brethren.
Oh,
No,
really?
I mean,
So
if
I
if,
can't
if
hear. So you can't tell me you're not good with me on the ear? No, we're not butter it up, your son. What
some,
is
that's what
we are
some people
reason?
they feel like
We
I
are
should wait until
reason.
whenever. No, we reasoning. So yeah, if I need to pull you up, I pull you up. I mean, and that's just how it is. I've heard that from a number of people who listen to the program and so on, who say that they appreciate how we do that. That and it
Well,
demonstrates,
give
as we
thanks for
say,
that.
we keep it
I
real,
appreciate it.
and
I
that's what
gladly
I tell
love
them.
that.
I tell them, yeah, that's it. We just keep it real. We don't, as you say, we not butter it up. If I agree with you, I agree. If I don't agree, I say, hey, I mean, I don't agree, and I give my position, and vice
Yes.
versa. So things like that. Shows, as you mentioned, some of the female farmers, I do love to, big up, and people like Marla, the head of the New River Farmers Cooperative and so on. She has been doing a lot and still is doing a lot. And,
Yes.
to see apart from just heading the cooperative and being re-elected for a number of years, demonstrating her ability to make things happen. Um, she also host that show that is becoming a big staple, that farm queen, talented teen competition,
Yes.
which is a wonderful thing. And things like that and people like that, we do have to acknowledge the contributions that are being made, and especially as we're speaking about females. We have people like Akisha Fergus, and her partner, Ryan Kadu, who, have demonstrated, that young farmers are doing things and not just recognized nationally and locally, but, recognized internationally. So, and we would have over time given them opportunities to be on the platform to share, what they're doing and so on and so forth. Um, and that is what we are here for. That is what we seek to do. I'm gonna, Banky, take a minute and go through some of the comments that are already on the wall, so that when the others come in, we can deal with them accordingly. I want to remind folks also, this is your show. As you realize, we're not talking anything agriculture, so to speak, tonight. We are basically it's called the Viewers Appreciation Show. So it's about you calling in if you want to critique us, if you want to thank us for what we have been doing, if there's any show that we would have done that you want to highlight and say, well, hey, I had loved this show, I loved how, whatever it is, it's your show tonight. So in the meantime, me and Banky just reasoning. That's what we're doing basically. While you either call in or you place your comments on the wall. So Kevin Hanley says, good evening, guys. He says, happy Boxing Day. Orion Otto Heidegger says, greetings all. Larrett Wharton says, good evening all. Orion Otto Heidegger says, just commend both of you for the dedication. The program has grown and keeps growing. Karen, okay, let me not try to butcher that name, but it looks like Hakuna Maynard, says good evening to both of you. Annette Morton says she's watching and she says good evening.
Good
Um,
evening, Annie. Good evening to all.
uh, Ruthlin Hill is locked in. Ruthlin Hill says happy holiday to all. Kevin said he went Juve today. So, Kevin, I guess at a ball. Kevin, enjoy yourself, I'm hoping that everything went good and you're safe and you're back home and, ready to get into whatever other activities you have to do. On the YouTube platform, we have Charles Gaskell saying global greetings, brethren, appreciation to the max. We have Angela Palmer saying, hello, hi everyone listening from England. Missing all you Nevis people. Me soon come. Y'all take good care. All of the best for 2026. And so those are the comments that we have so far. For those of you who are logging in, we're here. We don't take holidays. Farmers don't have a day off. Every day we gotta go. You either got to water, especially if you have young things. You gotta water. Sometimes you gotta harvest. If you don't harvest, then it's like you're wasting, you're losing. Having just money wasting. Sitting on a tree. So there's always something to do. There is just something to do. But we tonight are not focused on anything agriculture at all. So this is our break, so to speak, to some extent, from bringing various topics and issues and so on to you, and your opportunity to just call us, make your comment on the wall, let us know, if you want to. Well, we're not really in the Christmas business and so, but if you want to send greetings or whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah, we welcome all of that still, because even though we don't celebrate it and you celebrate it, we don't fight anybody for what they believe in or what they deal with and so on. It is what it is. We are here just to give you that opportunity to say, yeah, guys, yeah, I like what y'all doing, but whatever it is you want to add to the but. Um, if you want to call in, the numbers are going across the screen: 1-869-662-7196, 1-869-662-7196, or 869-665-8459. So those are the numbers to call in if you want to, and they're both available on WhatsApp. So If you're calling internationally and you don't want to have to pay for an international call, so to speak, you just get on the WhatsApp platform and you could call us direct, and your comments and or critique would be taken accordingly. And that's basically what this program is about. At some point later on, we're gonna pop some questions that would afford persons who are logged in this evening to be able to get a copy of Cash is Queen from Davinia Tomilson, um, who has this book that is dedicated to mainly to females, young girls, to learn about managing money, managing wealth, learning about entrepreneurism, how to deal with money. Something that our school system or education system did not, and I dare say still is not totally equipping us with at this point. And so I think having that book is an investment. And so anybody who get an opportunity to win one of these books this evening, trust me, you have won yourself something. And adding to it means a lot more to us, because we are giving these away because we would have had the author as a guest on our program, and because of the influence and how well the author was able to deliver the book and the interview and the discussion that we would have had, one of our listeners vouched to purchase some of the books to give to some young persons by us doing just what we're doing now, giving them away on the program. And that individual would have lived up to their words, as we would say, put their money where their mouth is. And that listener was Jetty Taylor. So we are saying thank you to Jetty Taylor again for this contribution, and we are definitely going to be able to make some young individual happier, and hopefully wealthier. Hopefully, Banky, it would be nice if we could learn about the stories of maybe some of these people who eventually get the book and how it influenced them. So we're gonna be hopefully hoping to get some follow from that eventually. It would be nice for that. Karen Baptiste says, Angela, we miss you as well. Okay, so I guess that's a response to Angela Palmer's comment. She says she's missing Nevis and she soon comes. So take care. All the best until 2026. So Karen Baptiste says good night all, and she says, Angela, we miss you as well. No more comments here yet, and so we continue.
So Yahsonn, the first question is, when did we started, which year, month, and the date of the month we started the first show? When we started the show, the Everything Agriculture Show. And I think that is simple as it is. Which month and what year? The month and the year and the date when we started the show.
Okay, so date, month, year, when we started the Everything Agriculture Show,
yes.
folks.
And the time and the time of the show, and the time of the show too, I remember. It started a certain time, the time. So I'm not sure if that is...
you say easy, Baba. You're adding some components too. But anyway, let's see. How that works. So the time you said, it's a nice question though still, because it takes them back to to see who really followed from the beginning and so on, and so that would be quite interesting. And the thing is though, as much as we want to make it easy, the book is a valuable book as well, and so we want you to realize that the book is of some serious value. So we don't want to feel like we're giving it away, but we still don't want to just give it away either. We want you to work a little bit so that you appreciate it at the end. When you're doing it and you do have it, you did put out some effort to do a little bit of research or whatever it is, and now you have this book and you're going to make use of it. And note also that any one of you who win, we are looking forward to hearing the story, maybe even if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, how it has helped you to become maybe a successful business person, open up your own business, start to manage your finances differently, what you took from it and so on, to help you to get to the level where you are. So we'll be looking forward to those kinds of feedback. As we continue, The numbers to call are 1-869-662-7196 or 1-869-665-8459. And those are the numbers to call if you want to answer the question, one, or two, if you just want to call in to, send some greetings, congratulate or critique us over the years for the shows that we would have had. It is unite. It's all about you. It's all about what you want to do. It's all about what you want to say. We are not necessarily having an Everything Agriculture show. This one is called Viewer Appreciation Show. So it's your show. Whatever you want to call in and
Yes,
tell us. Yes, sir.
yeah. Let me just also want to give thanks for the director, agriculture, Nevis, Randy Elliott, for always coming on when we reach out to them to come and give a report and an update on what the ministry offers, some of the sector, like the abattoir areas and stuff like that, the propagation unit and the veterinary section, the small farm, the tractor equipment area, and the estates and stuff like that. Also, big up the minister, Samuel Duggins, in the Minister of Agriculture in St. Kitts, and Miguel Fleming also, and definitely always come on when I reach out to them and stuff like that. It's very important. Here in Nevis, the Minister of Agriculture, they just don't show up. They just acting like, but it is sad. It's the only person here in Nevis who speak when it come to coming on the show is the premier, represent the whole squaddy. You see what I mean? But they all should be able to come to the fore because they're not doing me or you a favor, It's the people, the public, the voters, those who support them. It's them who are giving the information, who want answers. And we are just the medium, the facilitators, that's all it is. We are not holding anything personal against anyone. We are here to have fun at the same time, but then just ask, ain't no question for me. Is a hard question. I mean, if you're here, especially as public figures, and lead, I want to lead the people. Remember, they are the sheep, we are the shepherd. But somehow they want to turn us into the sheep. Shepherd, so the sheep can't lead the
Reverse
shepherd in the work.
psychology.
You see what I
Using
mean? So
reverse psychology. Yes.
yes. So I just want to thank the ministers and them that for the agriculture department especially for coming out. And also the premier who definitely always stick to his word. So in the new year, should expect him back, reach out to him. Definitely, it's every 3 months. So if not, I want to bring him on in within the first, second week in March before agricultural open day. So that's where I'm working at. So
Hold on,
definitely,
Banky. Hold on, Banky. I think I don't want you to just slide over that like that. I want people to understand that, and even also as we spoke about the agricultural minister who has opted to not come on the platform and so on. We want people to realize that we're open to all, whether it's as we said, NRP, CCM, independent, whoever it is. I want people to realize that the leadership, with the man who's at the helm, the Premier, Mr. Bantley himself, has committed to every 3 months coming on the platform. I want people to understand that. So I didn't want you to just slide over it. I know you said it, but I want to make sure that it is highlighted that he has committed to come to the platform
yes.
every 3 months, and we are able to do the same thing that we would have done in the past, question him on anything, have that reasoning as we usually do. And
Yes. And you
so,
got to big him up for that. You got to big him up for that because he don't have
yes,
to.
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And it demonstrates. So, for those of you who may want to doubt anything on the platform and how people think or deem the platform, here is it that even the leader, and we would have, as you mentioned, we would have reached out to many of the other political leaders and or members from various parties to come on the platform. You just mentioned Samuel Duggins. We would have had um, the CEO for the Medical Cannabis Authority, Ms. Jihan Knight.
Yes.
We
King.
would have had
Knight
uh,
William, Jan Knight William. Yeah.
we would have had the leader of the People's Action Movement, Natasha Gray
Yes.
Books. We would have had, Azar Gums, also the We would have had Rusty Liebert, who was a part of People's Action Movement, but have sought to, move independent and so on. Independent again, we would have had Mr. Welcome on the platform and so on. So I'm just going through some of these names so that people can. We had some also Sam Kanda, veteran politician, on the program as well. So we are pretty much open. We would have
We
had.
mentioned them. I didn't call them name because that's we work with the topics. The topics is next week Tuesday, but still is us. Still, it doesn't really matter in a sense.
No. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
But I mean,
Yes.
you know, Kyle Flanders and his brother. You know,
Yes.
we would have had
Troy.
right.
Sankofa,
Kofa
Spats,
Ryan,
Chosai,
trust
Irai.
me.
Is
Yes, a lot.
it's a
And talking about that, we got to big up Spax and Gideon Force Farms, who, over the years have been making some serious contributions to agriculture, and also to the maintenance of the Rastafari community as well, and sustaining the Rastafari community and providing work and opportunity for employment and so on for several. Spax, we got to single out, especially for reopening the Sandy Point market, and for keeping that going and keeping activities going there and so on. That is a great achievement and accomplishment, and a demonstration of the ability for the group to to show that they are successful and that they are willing to do things if given the opportunity to. Gideon Force, they have been there, with the organic side of things and highlighting and demonstrating and putting forward the organic side of things, representing Rastafari and, that development of a Rastafari community, but at the same time, using it to not just highlight Rastafari, but the importance of organic farming and some of the different practices that they would have been doing over the years, and organizing an annual event that has grown into something that is big, much bigger than Rastafari. It opens up for all sort of different entrepreneurs and all kind of different people from all walks of life, are there and would make speeches from time to time and so on. And so we definitely want to give thanks to those brothers and sisters who have been making their contribution to the Agricultural Society on St. Kitts, and by extension, the Federation, because from time to time, produce that they go over on that side do come to this side and so forth. So, yeah, Bankie, season greetings and happy holidays from Texas. Sherry Ann Richards, greetings, Sherry Ann. We welcome all to the
everything is all right.
Okay. Yeah, and so we're just giving all the opportunity to weigh in, and if you want to call in, if you want to just put your comment on the wall, we welcome that. That's what it's all about tonight. Viewer appreciation. We got a question on the board. You can win yourself a book from Davinia Tomilson, the author of a book that is all about managing money, learning to manage finance, teaching our young girls, how to, become, independent, own their own businesses and so on, and manage money and all that. And so we have a couple that we're going to give away this evening. And the first question for that book is to tell us the date when we started Everything Agriculture, in terms of the year, the month, the day of the week that the show is held, and the time that we usually start the show, whether it was 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the night, whatever like that. That is basically what we're asking, and you could win yourself a copy of that book. Big up to, oh yes, definitely. Charles Gaskell is saying, big up Dr. Charles McWilliams of Jade, and definitely we can't forget Dr. Charles McWilliams and his contribution. He's seeking to really fuse agriculture with his natural herbal healing practices that he has specialized in over the years, and have testimonials of thousands of people that he would have served here on Nevis, with his clinic here on Nevis and the sister clinic in Miami. He has also, as a result of being on the platform and being on Everything Agriculture, opted to start an entire program here on the platform called Medicine for the People. And so we have a new program here that we do. So it's not now 2 days a week. It's now 3 days a week, actually, that we're here on the platform. On Tuesdays, it's the topics from 8 until 10. On Wednesdays, it's Medicine for the People with Dr. Charles McWilliams of Jade Health Clinics, or Medical Health Clinics, Herbal Health Clinics at Newcastle, Nevis, and the other branch in Miami. His program starts from 7 until 8, so it's a 1-hour program. And on Friday, we usually have Everything Agriculture from 7 until 9 p.m. And so those are the programs that we are usually, running through from time to time, depending on, the guests that we may have and the angle in which we think we might take the discussion. We may opt to have a special edition of the topics on a Friday evening, so we may switch it up. But it's not usual that happens. But if something happens and we do have to, from time to time we switch it. But we would generally inform you and seek to put out the flyer or the ad, or something to let you know that this is going to be the change, and so you could look forward to that. Yes, Bankie?
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to touch is interview Gary Griffin from the Abattoir. What the thing about, we tend to look at the abattoir and not realize it's not just an abattoir. It's an abattoir and a meat processing plant. We do the choice cuts. You want them T-bone steak, you want them baby back ribs. Gary does all that. He's highly, highly skilled. He's one of those, in that environment, the replacement is very, very difficult, because it's not like you can come in a year and learn what the skills that they have. Because if you learn certain things, just go by experience, the season of and then feedback from the customers. Well, you know what I mean, to tweak it and stuff like that until you master it, and to understanding the type of choice cuts. Can remember when you're cutting meat and they're frozen, you're using bandsaw like you're doing woodwork, So you gotta measure as a carpenter. As you always measure twice or 3 times and cut once, because if you cut the wood the short, you can be able to splice it back and join it back with the type of joint and stuff. But you cut the people meat wrong, well, how you gonna fix them back? You see what I mean? And then you have to understand, know how this type of meat is supposed to look, and it's just a whole different process. It's a lot, so you gotta really give kudos to Gary and what he have been doing at the abattoir, and he have over 20 something different products. I mean, just like when the other day he was down in Sinking at the night market with, rotisserie chicken, with smoked beef, smoked ham. I mean, your bacon, your turkey, is whatever. I mean, anything you can think of that coming that is imported, the abattoir have it fresh and even better on a higher standard. And you cannot beat that. And I don't think the department is pushing that enough. We have the NTV, and we have a communication area within the Department of Agriculture. You should be having all the different sectors within the department, the abattoir, in a video, audio, and showing all these things every night once the NTV is on. These are things, and these things need to be highlighted. Even when you're going to the banks and them, you're going to just get the TV news, CNN and Fox. Who wants them there? Use local stuff, advertise local farms, local businesses, the Ministry of Agriculture, different sector within the government, if the same bank that you're in, different, audio about when it comes to customer service and getting loans, all these things should be advertised in these different banks and so forth. Not no CNN and all this nonsense, all it. Come on, come better than that. We got to be more creative. This is how we're supposed to do these things. Cause then you have and then I think who we had the agro-processing unit. That's the next area there when the director speak and value added. The public don't know they can't go there if they want to make guava jam. They can't go there and make the guava jam in the book the kitchen. You just call, let them know you want to make some guava jams or you want to make juice, whatever you want to do, baking or whatever, and you can book the kitchen and then you have the kitchen to use at your exposure. But the public don't know these things. If you have a lot of what you call it there, lime, and not say lime, let's say golden apples, and you want it to be peeled and turned into the juice, they'll do all that for you. So you get a bucket of golden apple and you take it there, they'll do all the pulping for you. Same with mangoes. You have mango you don't know what to do with them, you take them there, the pulpit for you for a small fee. So these are things I want to see more out into the new year. It keep advertising. It don't make no sense to have, a communication area there and then you have an NTV, a media house, and these things are not being pushing out. These are things that need to happen and stuff like that. And you need to see more agriculture shows, need to see the schools that are getting more involved, need to see the extension officers, them adapt the schools, them go. And so we can encourage the young ones, them to take up agriculture, because agriculture need land, and our people are pushing real estate, and real estate need land. So you, the viewers, have to talk to your representative, talk to your leaders, and if you want to see 20, 40 years down the road, we might still be here. We might be in a rocking chair or something, 50 years, but then it's the younger ones, them, who will have to carry on the torch. And if we don't put things in place where we protect our land and teach our youth how to farm in a holistic way, which means safety is everything. Because whatever you put into the plant, you're going to go back and that you do it in a holistic way. And at the same time, you don't want no one to be getting sick that you're feeding. That is something you just don't want. So anything you grow, you should be able to guarantee it. I got a policy. If you buy something from me, you won't have any issues. You just say you don't want it. I don't care. If it's too sweet, if it's too sour, if whatever it is, you change it. I give back your money. No problem. No love lost. Nothing. That's how me function. Whatever it is, you buy it, you bring it back. I give back your money. If you might exchange, see your money there. Cause I know when you go to the big places, when you buy your stuff, and you go along with your bell peppers or your melon or whatever it is that is not good, you're not coming back. You're gonna keep you're not give back your money neither. But me policy different. You understand? You buy it, you don't want it, I give back your money. Go somewhere else, you don't have a problem with that. Somebody else gonna come back. So I don't have issues with people. And that's the policy I work with at all times, Francis and myself. I guarantee what I have, and I guarantee get back your money. So it was sweet, you don't want it, you don't even have to bring back the melon and all, or the bell pepper, or the potato, wherever you buy the cassava. You don't want it, I give back your money, me no care. You understand? I'm me the farmer. Me not lose and sleep over the things there. You understand? Because that's how me see things. You know what I'm saying? I buy things all the time, it ain't no good. I just leave it alone. I buy food that tastes good, I trade away, and that's it. I go and buy something else. And me move on. Yeah, me not lose sleep over certain things. So once you come to Master's Last of anything you buy, you go back, it was sweet, whatever reason, come back, you take the next one, I make money there. You don't worry about that. Mine matter. So I appreciate all those who keep coming and supporting the shop, supporting the farm, greatly appreciate it. And so that you keep looking out for the business in the community, because this is how you should know your farmer, know your food coming from, and not just going things of looks and coming from within the country, because you don't know who handled that product, you don't know what was put into it, and at the same time you're still losing a lot of the nutritional value, because whatever you're eating from out after boat got to ship from thousands and thousands of miles coming across the waters, and still have to be packaged, pick off a farm and travel across to before you to that boat. So it's in a different time. You're going from, whereas I pick something from the farm, it go in the shop today. I have it today. So you don't have no space no more than a day or a couple of hours or whatever. You can't beat that. And if you don't want to have that concept, and at the same time you can come and see the thing on the go. If you don't want it in the shop, you come on the farm and you pick your banana yourself and you pay for your banana. Or you pick your tomato yourself, or you pick your bell pepper, your seasoned pepper. Me not an issue with that. You pick what you want and you pay. You wait and you pay. That's the concept of Shabazz Organics, to get that farm feeling. It's just like today, yesterday, a gentleman come. You have planting? Yeah. I want a bunch of planting. We have to the farm. I want the one day. Cut it down. Okay. You get a whole bunch of planting, 50 pounds. Simple thing. You see what I mean? That's how it's supposed to be. Yes, son.
Yes, I, and that's basically how it should be, and that's the kind of space that we're seeking to create. Like when I was in California, the farm that I operated, I used to tell them that that's the real live super farmers market. Because that's the space. You come in, you see what you want, and we would harvest together. You can get your little basket, and we pick whatever you want, and then you come out and we weigh our package, and you cash out, and you're gone. You can't get it any fresher than that. And it was interesting too for a lot of people, because what we take for granted out there, a lot of people have never seen. So as simple as it is, out there you have a lot of farms, yes, but it might be a citrus farm, it might be a walnut farm, it might be a, you know, whatever it is, that olive. But in terms of having a farm where you could see like the sweet pepper growing and the tomato growing and eggplants and celery and parsley and all of these things, and I had all of these things on the farm. What you find, and I noted this when I used to work at Kittishan Hill, when I used to do the nursery farm tour with a lot of tourists, I noted that a lot of them were not able to match the fruit in the supermarket to the tree that the fruit is grown from, because the reality is a lot of them has never been on a farm. So sometimes when they do take the trip, and we say, like I remember one time, I showed them the pineapple growing on the tree, and they were like, "So that's how a pineapple grow?" Because in their mind, apple, they're seeing apple growing on a tree that you can pick. But it was only when they took the tour, they were able to see that the pineapple grow on something like a grass, and it has a stalk, and you can just cut it off and pick it. And for us, I mean, at that time, I am laughing to myself, but at the same time, I'm like, that is the reality. I mean, it's a level of ignorance for them, because they have never experienced that. And so when you do this, even to our locals, some of them are in that scenario. Because I remember when I used to teach at CSS, one time I planted out some sweet potato vines in the yard, and some 6 farmers came by, and I was asking them if they know what these are, and they're telling me no. I say, really? Yeah, they know these big. Yeah. So at some point, another one came down, and one of them said, "Man, a sweet potato this big." And I mean, it was like a Nevis with there, They say in a foreigners, but you show you how distant some of us have gotten from the garden.
Yes. Is this week? This week? It was probably maybe Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday. I had some guests come down and come on the farm, and walk showing them the farm and stuff like that, and they see pineapple. As you mentioned, pineapple. And they said, "That's pineapple." I said, "Pineapple?" I said, "I thought pineapple go out. That's how the tree look. I thought it go under the ground." I said, I didn't want to laugh. But sometimes you just gotta go and get it, go and laugh, because they're laughing too. You see? because I said, nah, it don't go under the ground. I said, the cassava and the potato and the tanya and those, I should have the root crops, those that go under the ground and stuff like that. But I mean, if you don't know, you don't know, you know.
So no, and it's amazing sometimes the things that
Yes,
we take for granted. I mean, the
yes.
knowledge that we have that we take for granted. I remember uh, when I was at Kittitian Hill as well, there was this guy, a very wealthy guy, but he had an issue with sleeping and with his nerves. And I remember, I think it was either this first day, or the second day on his trip to Kittitian Hill. We did the nursery breakfast because we used to do that. That was a big event. Um, I introduced him to the soursop and soursop leaves, and I told him, well, when we were small, our parents used to make a tea with this when they want to go to Lime or party and so on, and they want to make sure that we sleep. They would make a tea, and this would, give us a very good sleep. And so he was like, really? He would like to try this and so on. And so for the duration of his time there, I would have sent, some soursop leaves to his room and so on, and tell him, well, put two or three in your cup at morning, steep hot the water, and then pour it over let it steep for a minute or two, and then if you want to add your sweetener, honey, or whatever it is, or if you just want to have it like that, I have it like that. And he tried it, and he was like, man, actually, I had to dry leaves and package them for him and all. When he went back, he used to send back for these things. But like I said, they were very ignorant to these things, and to note that these things have these effects. And he was like, "Wow, I can testify," you know. And it's things like these, experiences like these, that, like I said, showcase sometimes the things that we have and we take for granted around us. Soursop, when you go into America, I went to a store one time in America and I saw a bottle of capsules, and the capsule says graviola capsules, you know, and but what caught me was looking at the bottle. I'm seeing the fruit of a soursop, so I was like, but they're not saying soursop. Did the research, and scientifically, they call soursop graviola, right? And so in Spanish and so on and some other territories, that's how they identify it. And so here is it that our soursop that we're taking for granted has gotten to the point where people are making capsules from it. There's the tea bags and teas and all of these different products from it, but sold under a name that you almost can't even identify, because it has that superior name that they're saying it has all these cancer fighting abilities and so on. Yet we are frowning on it in our parts of the world.
You see, yes, and we have these things here, you know, but then we not use it enough. You'll plant a source up, but then you're not eat the leaves, you not eat the source up. It's what that people plant it, but they not use it. They'll plant the mango, but they not use it. Especially when agriculture open the come, you find hundreds of citrus and different food trees have been sold. But then when they keep going around, I'm not sure because of the hype and people get into the excitement, but then you're not seeing the numbers not add up. You sell and one day over 300 citrus trees and all these different mango trees. And you see what I mean? Some ain't not gonna catch because some people not maintain some. You see what I mean? You have to expect that too. You see, some even buy it and they stay in the back and stay there and not even get planted. So I think one need to be put in place is a follow up. You see what I mean? A follow up. We try to follow up a little bit much with the extension staff and give guidance, and because especially for citrus, there's two citrus disease on the island, the citrus greening and the canker, and these disease is, well, very difficult to control. So you got to bring in a gets virus and a new species of clean germplasm. So, but it got to be a collective effort. The department, the government have to lead the way and encourage, let people know, well, we're going to replace the new citrus and with the new ones, we're going to have to remove the old one. You see what I mean? And start over. That's all I got to do. But if you're not going to do nothing, I mean, what's going to happen? And then we still got to adjust the monkey program because the program have been closed down for the last couple of years. And then some of the different, I'm hear farmers saying they're being able to get a lanate is an insecticide that I use to help with help get rid of some of the monkeys and different stuff like that. But these things ain't available no more. So you got a lot of stuff against it right now. So it's next year, the card is basically finishing us in the next 3 months. March, end of March is agriculture open day, 30th anniversary. 30th anniversary. So if you start to plant now, depending on the crops that you want to put in 3 months crops, you still have some time, but you would have to have your seasoning them done set and ready, especially bell peppers, tomatoes that you start planting out now within this week here. I have at least the first week in January to plant if you want to harvest for the end of March, the last Thursday, the last Friday. So you got to start planting this week. So you can start harvest the week before, and you're getting 2 weeks of harvesting before the day of every week of the week. You don't want to start harvest the week of the event. You want to start harvest the week before, leading up into it. So you get a few harvests. So you got to have a planning and don't having tomatoes fruiting, don't having bell peppers or fruit, season pepper fruit, and don't plant back out the same set again, tomatoes again, bell peppers again, season tomorrow plant out season pepper again. And then I don't got in melon or forgotten melon or flower, and I don't plant melon again about to go on. So I'm putting one more set of melon next week. So that's it, they're gonna come in for the exact week of the agriculture opening. So it's all about planning, preparation, and it's all about timing. So as I say, so who the party and a jump up? I know I got to take part in agriculture. I want to take part in agriculture openly, have a cannabis display along with some vegetables and stuff like that in a booth, because that is something I want to start, do every year. So I can't be, and then remember, monkey not walk nowhere, Monkey not take holidays, and jump up in a monkey job is to seek and roam and eat. That's just their instinct. So you as the farmer got to make sure you're alert and be around and protect your investment. And then when it's time to leave, then you leave. That's just how it is. You can't be watching those who have the regular work in the car. They're going to get paid either way. Holiday or not, they don't get paid. So my investment is my investment. That's so I got to put in the time and not watch others. And that's just how farming is. But I don't watch my environment around of me and realize there's a serious heat coming on in January. You could see it. You could see outside the grass and getting dry. You can see if you're paying attention to the environment. So hopefully there's a switch where you start to get a lot of rain between now and next week. If that ain't happening, well, we're into some serious pressure when it comes to dry. But I don't looking around me and see some observation where you can see the place is going to be very dry if you not start getting some rain. So we're paying attention to stuff like the environment, because after March, much farmers not going to plant. If March is a dry time. January usually is a dry time too, but if rain coming in, will continue getting some rain to January, February. So let's see how it goes. But once you got water, planting got to go on. We're not rain, farming have to go on. That's just the reality. So that is where I'm at right now. Definitely looking forward for the 30th anniversary. I'm not sure. Well, the agriculture, it's at a point where now, Yahsonn, I think they should start to include people regional, invite people from Antigua, from Statia, from Dominica. Just like how St. Croix do the one, like almost like you have people, M&T and Leaf, they go to St. Croix to travel. Let people from Antigua come take part, Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia. The event will get to a point where it just need to expand regional, invite other people, so what they have to offer also. It's better to see your counterparts, what they have to offer, taking part, and also they get to see what you have to offer too. Even if the ministry come along with and work with other products from other farmers to display, or whatever it is, all these things going to have to figure it out, but the venue would have to change. Don't have to get a much bigger venue. I'm not sure it have to be at the Mondo Chaka or whatever the bigger venue, and they feel they'll have to figure it out. But you understand, they definitely have to figure it out. But at this point, you gotta come bigger. You gotta include other people, cause and then the layout should itself, especially when it comes to government offices and those places, they don't need to be at the front and they need to be to the back. Them government areas that the offices and them who displaying stuff and information, they don't need to be at the front as you're coming at the entrance. Cause they are just giving out information. You see what I mean? Whether it's in health and the water department and all them different areas, they just need to be in an area at the back when they walk around. They don't need to be up in front. When you see what I mean? You need people who invest to make their money to so they get that but the government itself, them should be way at the back end. That's where them they need to be at. So hopefully have a proper more. I know that makes some changes last year and stuff like that. And also what need to happen, more people need to get involved when it comes to the cannabis part of it. You need to reach to a point where when you come to agriculture, open the boat in Sinkits and Nevis, you have a whole section, at least 10, 15, a whole 30, 20, whatever it is, section of different areas when it comes to cannabis, whether it's information, plants, you understand, products, all this different stuff. People advertising and taking part, but then yet you still have a minister that speak on it. And that is the problem too. You see, you have the premier supporting it, but then you have the minister who don't support it. So if it's not up to the premier that support it, a lot of stuff that goes on, you understand, wouldn't be happening, because if the premier wouldn't talking about it, then the minister would not, you're not hearing from the minister. So definitely that is something to look forward to for the Agriculture Open Expo next year, March, and stuff like that. Also, when it reaches to a point, maybe in February, I'll get some tickets, to raffle tickets, $10, and you'll get a chance to win a cannabis tree that will be displayed in on both days. And Friday, if you can collect the tree and of the farm, you can walk with your tree at the end of the day on Friday. So you get $10. I'll be selling the tickets. You'll see photos of the trees and stuff like that. Can't go wrong. $10 for a tree over 7 feet, 8 feet. Yeah, whatever is in it is yours. If you get a 3 pound, 2 pound, you would be. What I wanted to show the general public and those within authority to go in and selling the general public, you can have 56 or just 2 ounces. I can have 6 trees or 7 trees, or whatever motor tree, but you can have 2 ounces. When you can have a large tree that have over a pound of herb. Yeah, so that is what my setup would look like, along with different vegetables and the cannabis display and stuff like that. So definitely looking forward for that. When I did that last year, that was the most visited booth. People came over from St. Kitts, love it, and definitely came back this year. I didn't take part, and they leave the park. Some just came just for that. So the minister, them definitely, I mean, gonna have to change the views and keep the personal views to themselves and just work with what the public want. Because if you're gonna hold stuff like that, you should not be in that position. I already tell the premier himself got to take agriculture under his portfolio and take with that area from the minister, because we can't continue in the way we're going right now. Yahsonn.
Yeah, definitely. I hear you on that, especially in relation to cannabis. We definitely have to see some changes moving forward, and we are not hearing from the minister in Nevis, and we're not hearing from the other minister in St. Kitts that is responsible for ecclesiastic affairs, where you find the regulations in relation to the 5 or 6 trees that you just mentioned and the 56 grams, and or having a lounge or any zone for smoking falls under the Ministry of Ecclesiastic Affairs, which falls under the Minister Honorable Jeffrey Huntley, who we have never heard spoken on the topic of cannabis. Never. I'm sure people hearing me saying this right now would be like, huh? I didn't know Minister Jeffrey Hanley had something to do with cannabis because I've never heard him spoken on cannabis. Likewise, on Nevis, though he is the Minister of Agriculture, we have never heard anything from the Honorable Eric Evelyn. We have not heard him spoken to Nivisions in relation to cannabis. In recent times, there's some comments that were made in Parliament in relation to his views and some utterances he made in relation to cannabis and the same event which Bankie spoke to, Open Day for Agriculture. But as we continue, Bankie, I am going to put my question out there, one of my questions for the book, which is going to be pretty. I want to think that it should be a lot easier than your question. So I'm going to ask for the public who are listening, if you want to win a copy of Cash's Queen from Davinia Johnson. Sorry, Tommy Lynn. I keep saying Johnson. I know why I have that Johnson in my mind. Yeah, I corrected it. Tomilson. I know I have the Johnson in my mind. There is a person who I deal with that similar name. Anyway, Tomilson. Cassius Queen. We are giving away a couple of books. So my question for you, if you want to win a copy, tell us. My battery is almost dead. I gotta plug it in. Anyway, tell us the name the 3 programs that we host on Real Entertainment Network, the days that they come on, and what time they start. So we host 3 programs on Real Entertainment Network. Name the 3 programs. Tell us the days when they come on the platform, and the times that they come on, as in whether it's 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever the case may be. If you are able to answer the question, then you win yourself a copy of Cash's Queen. Right here is as simple as that, and this is something that you should hold and make sure that you have a copy of, and maintain a copy of this book. So as we continue, Bankie, that's one of the questions. The numbers to call are 662-7196 or 869-665-8459, or even if you.
Yahsonn, when you finish, you can also talk about the nomination. You can also expound on that.
Okay. Yeah, but you mean in terms of the that we should be getting? Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So we
because of them. It's because of them, It's because of them to the support from system.
Yes. We have been nominated as in the category of the top 40 influential persons within the region under the category of agriculture and food and security by the THG network, who generally does something, and this is something that it is because of you, our listeners and viewers, and your participation, and you, the guests who we would have had over the years, and your willingness to come to our platform, answer the tough questions, have fun with us, have a reasoning with us, and have taken us to the point where we are now definitely recognized, and would be given some recognition for the work that we have been doing for this year and the years in the past. And so we want to give thanks to TSG Network to recognize us, and we would give you
Big up
information
Mervin.
as that presentation is aired, and we may probably seek to air if possible, and or maybe get clips from it for other programs to do that. But congratulations to both of you. Continuous enlightenment on many subjects. That's Sherry and Richards saying congratulations on that. And yes, definitely, we give thanks because we do this not for recognition. I think it's Chronics say we do it for the love, we not do it for the likes. You know what I mean? It's just something
Well,
that we have been
yes,
doing.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Let me say big up to Mervin and his network and his organization, THG Network, for acknowledging us. Because I mean, when you send it in, I didn't really expect these things. You see what I mean? You just do things to inform the public when it comes to educate them, putting agriculture at the pedestal where it's supposed to, because without agriculture, we just don't exist. Whether the car we drive, the food we eat, the clothes we wear, I mean, this the fiber for clothes and anything like that, and clothes and and for medicine and all that. We really appreciate it. I mean, we are humble. 'Cause as I said, I mean, I'm surprised that someone really taking us serious anyway. Because some, as you said, some they figure we just see a talking, knocking a cup and to weed head or whether they look at us as or whatever it is, which it doesn't really matter because that's everybody have their own views, and because we could still look at them and call other people the same way. Because people have to realize that
But
too.
but, but
So
we,
I really
we
just I
like
really
you said,
said this
like you said,
because
we don't butter it up. And like for example,
yes,
as you talk about the cannabis and so on, you know, it's okay how our society is structured for a man to come on the program with his glass and maybe his bottle and so on, and you know what I mean, not necessarily on the program, but publicly. You used to look at the politicians and you see them got pictures with either their beer, their glass in their hand or whatever. That ain't no issue. But if you're supposed to have a spliff smoking in a place that has
of course,
decriminalized cannabis, that is an issue. So I recall, like, we, as you said, we don't butter it up. Sometimes we come on the platform, especially when we're doing a cannabis show, and we want to burn a joint, we burn a joint. I mean, because we're
nothing
trying
wrong
to,
with that.
at the same time, it's sort of helping to demystify and take away that negative stigma from it and get people to realize that even though they do that, they're still capable of handling themselves and conducting themselves effectively and handle business and so like I was telling somebody the other day, when I used to teach, I had no reason to have to tell anybody anything about Rastafari. I tried to indoctrinate anybody about my Rastafari way of life. It was as simple as just being in the classroom and conducting myself as a professional. It was that simple, because the students that now encounter me get the opportunity to realize, well, hey, people out there saying Rasta crazy and Rasta this and Rasta that. But my teacher is a Rasta man, and my teacher teaching me things and I'm learning. So they now have to question themselves. Well, what they're saying is true. What am I experiencing? What I'm experiencing, is that true as well? So, so I didn't have to say anything. Just being me and demonstrating who I am was it. And
Yes, sir.
so it's things like that. Um, you can still win a book. Cassius Queen, Tamilson, sorry. Davinia Tamilson is the author, Cassius Queen. If you can tell us the name of the three programs that we host on Real Entertainment Network, the days in which we air those programs, and the times those programs starts. Um, if you have those answers, you can win yourself a book. In the meantime, Banky, I'm going to look for my charger to plug in, otherwise I might just get zapped out. And so you take the
Yes,
mic, I'm going to look for the charger and plug it in on this laptop
yes.
here.
I just I'm going back over to Mervin and and his network. I mean, no, Mervin and I, we all go to school together from since in the 90s. I mean, he's someone who's always being on stage, always singing, just always that type of guy. I mean, always engaging and never shy, and always on some stage and stuff like that. So, and throughout his life, he's still continuing in that way. very open, never shy. So, and always into the media. So I want to want to big him up and the work he have doing. I always admire what he have done also into promoting and all and stuff like that. Always on some kind of hustle. So good youth, you understand? So more big up yourself and give thanks for the acknowledgement. And I'm glad it come from you too. I mean, anyone for being the first, anyone else who have intention, I mean, they can come after. So I'm glad it's you is the one who acknowledge us first. So someone from the grassroots who I know personally and I will have a great respect for. So big up yourself on that one and your network. Enough respect for that. Yeah. In the meanwhile, if you're still tonight is viewers appreciation show, and that will continue on Tuesday on the topics. The show is here because of you guys keep supporting us. We have Tuesdays the topics, Wednesdays medicine for the people, and Friday at 7. Seems like we have a winner right here, Yahsonn, which is as Arwin Heilega. Okay, all right. So you'll have we have the first winner here. My question was, when did the show Everything Agriculture show this program started, and which mean what year, the month, and the date. That's all it is. So Aaron, this is your book. You have my numbers. Send me a WhatsApp and let me know who can collect the book for you, and I'll get the book for you. Definitely send me a message. A reminder, I'll keep it in my bag and keep it in the car. So it's always accessible to someone can pick it up at the farm and we figure it out. All right. So thanks for getting that question right. So anyone want a chance to win Cash is Queen? The question is, when did we started the Everything Agriculture show? The year, the month, and the date. And you get a chance to win a book. So really appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. It's the festive season, but it shows you also have some time when it comes to getting in tune and sticking with us. And we have to make time to dedicate the last show of the year. Next week, Friday, we'll have a guest. Following Tuesday in the new year, we have a guest and continue going along the line and stuff like that. So really appreciate it. So Yahsonn, we seem like you have a winner here. So yes, she have Tuesday the 3 shows. So definitely I'll keep it in the car for her, and definitely, I mean, she in the finance thing too, so it work out fine for her. Yes.
Yeah, she said give thanks. We got link. So okay, so that's organized.
Yes,
So yeah, and it's a very very positive book in terms of empowering females especially here on the platform here on Real Entertainment Network and on Everything Agriculture. We are always passionate about helping women in agriculture. I find myself sometimes, Bankie, giving little advice, giving little tips here and there, and sometimes even getting stories from females who are seeking to get involved in agriculture and some of the struggles that they face in seeking to get assistance and so on. And it hurts me sometimes, because you in one half of the mouth you would hear the elected officials and ministers and so on talk about seeking to empower people in getting into agriculture and things like that, and then you speak to the people on the ground, like as even with the farmers generally, but then you talk to some of the females and you hear them telling you, well man, at this point I just give up and I just have to do whatever I have to do myself because I'm not getting the help here or there and so on. And when it's convenient or when it's timely, or like when we're talking about your World Food Day and Agriculture Open Day and things like that, and you hear the minister speaking, or when they're going to Parliament and so on, and they'll have to make some public speeches and so on, you see in social media and all that, this is happening in agriculture and we're doing this, and some nice fancy speeches and so on, and then you talk to the farmers, and then you talk to the people on the ground, and you wonder if it's the same story, it's the same people, you know what I mean, are like who telling the truth, but then you can't wonder who telling the truth, because in the case of the farmer, you will be able to go and visit the farm and see, and they show you, directly some of the issues and challenges that we have. And speaking about that, earlier you spoke about the animal thing and so on. I got to big up Gator, because we would have had Gator on the program several times as well. And Gator was a part of the monkey control and animal control and things like that.
Still is the main man for
Okay.
that when it comes to,
We
yes.
got to big up Dreddy. Dreddy and his son over here in New River, with his animal farm, and well, a mixture of animal, and he does a bit of crop agriculture as well. So sometimes he have in his watermelons, his pumpkins, and different things and so on. So a model farmer, model humble guy who would have been a machine operator for a number of years, but
Yeah, but also remember, Jerry's son is a top notch electrician, and move into farming. Yeah, man, the man is a top electrician, learn under Kid Swanston for years, and he had been invest with his dad and go heavily into farming. You see, he transformed the whole area there. So you got to big up the youth, The youth transformed the whole area there. Because Jerry had a whole heap of land unused, and the youth come in and partner with his dad and see the vision his father had and advance it to a different level. So you got to give the youth the respect by putting in the work. Because you see the work is there. The place look attractive. I just drove the past day this evening coming around that side of coming to Butlers and to Gingerland side, and I always enjoy when I reach in that area. Because I see getting some melon fruiting and looking good, running plenty. Yeah, man, look nice. So, Jerry and son, big up yourself. Also, over in New River, big up all the farmers over in New River, Mike Brown, you understand, and Leston and all Jam and everyone over there doing the things same way. And also
talking
those all over in Nevis.
Talking about that, when you talk about New River, you also want to commend the cooperative, because there are only a few that are operational in these times. And whatever little word of encouragement I could give to the New River cooperative, we want to encourage the members to participate. A lot of people sometimes, Bankie, they reap the benefits of the cooperatives, but when it comes to putting in the work, sometimes don't necessarily put in the work. But one of the things with cooperatives that people must understand, we benefit a lot more when you have better opportunities to benefit when you function as a group or a structured cooperative. A lot of the funding agencies or agencies that would give grants or interest-free loans and so on, or opportunities for training and upskilling, and investments in machinery or equipment that you may need to upgrade, whether it's agro processing and so on. A lot of these agencies would prefer to either work with a government organization or a cooperative that is structured, would have their whether it's manager, accountant, treasurer, secretary, and things like that, and have things structured. They would be willing and they prefer to work like that. And so these are some of the benefits. As a cooperative, you can order in bulk and you benefit savings, better savings than if you had to go and buy it yourself, individually. And or you may be able to benefit from a piece of equipment that the cooperative gain, that all who are members are able to make use of, and things like that. And even if it is maybe for a minimal fee, it might be a lot less than what you may have to pay if you had to go and get the service somewhere else. And so I'm just looking at highlighting some of the benefits of, being a part of a cooperative or being involved in cooperatives, and want to encourage the New River cooperative to, for the new year, to seek to, activate the members and reactivate the members, and, begin to plan for, things. New River and Cades Bay, two of the areas that are still heavily under agricultural, operations. And if we are not careful, we may lose New River as an agricultural sector if some of the people don't continue to do things like what we are seeing. And like Bankie would have mentioned, having that transition where Dreddy can now, see that his son is interested and has, started to take the venture to another level and so on. As if we don't have this sort of succession plan or this kind of baton passing going on, we could lose a lot of these lands, because then they would be unused, and government will say like, okay, well, you ain't using it, so we're taking it back. And maybe, looking at how things are going, it might just end up being in real estate. And so we have to do what we can do to maintain some of these spaces that are still designated for agriculture, and continue to occupy them and keep them active. So as a cooperative, you have that ability to gain a lot more if you're supposed to function, and don't just, benefit, but when it's time to put in the work as well. Whatever other events the cooperative have and so on, put in that little extra. Sometimes you might have to go a little extra mile, but look at the bigger picture in the long run. And so I want to encourage, not just the New River Farmers or New River Farmers Corp, but also any other agricultural corp. I just dealt with New River because we were talking about New River, and I just wanted to add that into and put it into perspective as well.
Yes, Yahsonn, one of the problem issue we have in here is aging, the aging farmers, and the need for young female and male to get involved in this sector, and to have, you understand, a plan where continuity. You see, my uncle man says also, I have to come in and pick up and invest, but you have to prevent these things where you have to start from scratch, almost basically. In need this thing that to be structured, so people like Dole and those who are the age and Jam and them who still around, they got to start to get somebody within that family who they can to continue what they're doing, to see the vision. Otherwise, this thing gonna shut down in a virgin.
And even if it's not a family member, somebody that is serious, that they know that they can survive by, even if I have to move, transition, I know that I left it with somebody who have that zeal and that zest, to continue it,
Yes.
and also if we need to, like we're saying, farm cooperatives are, cooperate as other farmers together as well, because sometimes that's all it needs. We sometimes look at other nationalities and sort of compare and contrast, but the reality is sometimes we don't have that ability to form companies or collaborate and so on. We talk about partnership is leaky ship and so on, and all of these things. We still have that kind of mentality, instead of saying, hey, I mean, yes, I could do my own thing, I could do whatever by myself and so on, but there are benefits from, maybe putting heads together, or collaborating, or teaming up with X or Y or Z to make certain things happen. I mean, it's not so much a practice that we have, but I think going forward, we need to begin to see things differently, because that's how some of the other nations and nationalities benefit. You look at, even right here in St. Kitts and Nevis, you would see how the Chinese may operate. Where they may set up themselves, and they set up their brother and their cousin over there, and somebody get a business up there, and it might even be a family member. It might just be another Chinese person helping another Chinese person. It just might be another Guyanese helping another Guyanese. It might just be another Indian helping another Indian. But we tend to, like the Chinese would bring in a container, 4 of them we put together, and they split the container. Because when they really check it out, this person is only bringing in a quarter container, the other person only bringing in a quarter. So if they got to go spend that money to bring in 4 different containers, then it's going to cost the end user a lot more. Now they're able to save because for them to put together, bring in one container, and then they break it down and share it up. We now have that mentality where I want to bring in my own because I want to look like I a big shot and I can bring in my own container. Bankie can bring in his own. And Bankie container only got in a quarter full. When Bankie could have worked with me and said, "Bah, I got some things to bring in. And I got some things to bring in. Another farmer might got some things to bring in. And now we put together and bring in the one container." But we got some more pride. And we have this kind of, as I said, the crab in a barrel mentality. And want to feel like you're a bit bigger than and better than and you're too good to. No, we need to kind of break down a lot of these things and see the need for us to collaborate, from companies, from cooperatives, from groups, from foundations, LLCs, and things like these. Your mic is muted, but before you turn on your mic is muted, but before you turn on your mic, and I guess that's why the book that we are highlighting as well this evening is so critical, because it speaks to a lot of these things that we are talking about that we need to really begin to deal with in terms of finance and learning some of the things that the 1%, that 1% that own all the millions and billions and so on, that could end poverty tomorrow or tonight if they want to, because of the amount of money that they have and wealth that they have. It's in some cases, it's not rob and steal and cheat and so they do to get all of that. But there are things that we can learn. There are certain things, formulas, techniques, skills that you could find in a book like what we are trying to give away tonight, that can help many of our young people and young girls for the future. So, Bankie, you can continue.
Back on the money train again. For the new year, I want to see money allocated for small businesses and those in the agri sector, interest free. Okay, if our leaders can take up money and give to entities like Marriott and all these different places and stuff like that, Kittyshon Hill, Christoph Harbour, with no interest, well, to me and you, to the small businessman who's seeking all these funding but no money there. I mean, but money there to give to all these people. This thing don't make no sense, my Virgin. And our people, something wrong with us. I mean, something have wrong with us, Virgin. How you so willing to give these big entities all these tax break, and the people them who hold up the country, the small businessman them, not get nothing. I don't think the people who hold the country, the leaders them need to go into exile. What these guys are doing, they don't need to be on the island. These guys don't need to be here.
The thing is, Bankie, some of these things are done with the expectation that we don't find out. As much as they talk about transparency and integrity, yes, public life and all of these things and so on, a lot of these things are done without the intent of us knowing. So like as you spoke about there, I mean, when I listened to in the house where I think it was the honorable, the opposition minister, and that again is a whole other story in terms of opposition and who functions really as opposition in the house and so on. But when he spoke to that money that was loaned to, no, it was not, I don't think it was Sean, I think that was Timothy Harris that spoke to the money that was loaned interest-free to Marriott's to save, whatever they said that I forget exactly what they said that the money was given for, but they said the point that stuck out for me was the interest-free part of it. I mean, how do you do that?
Don't be forgiven, man. Don't forgive the debt. Then might not about that day. They're gonna forgive Marriott. Just wait to see.
Bankie, that hearing that, and then we hear also how our local small businesses that you're talking about is struggling and can't get an opportunity like that. Well, let me not say can't, and not getting an opportunity like that to get loans to help to stabilize them as well and give them an opportunity to thrive and get back and stay in operation and so on. They're not getting that opportunity, and they don't want so much either. That same amount could be shared among so many other small businesses and could help so many small businesses and Sinkers and Nevis. And then when you hear that the government is seeking to do that, and if it wasn't for that that opposition minister in the house to highlight it, we wouldn't have known. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of these things are done with the hope that it is kept and shrouded in secrecy so that we, the masses, don't know about it. So, as a people, we have to be more vigilant. As the electorate, we have to pay more attention to what our elected officials are doing. And we also, as a people, need to hold the ministers, the opposition ministers, especially in the federal house, more accountable. We cannot continue to accept that they don't come in to represent us, and don't even give some explanation as to why they're not present and so on. They are being paid too as well. People need to understand, just like how the elected officials are paid, those who win their seats and form his royal or his loyal opposition, they are also being paid. They're not being paid as much as the elected ministers who are in cabinet and who are in parliament. But they are being paid. And so if it's one thing that they should do to demonstrate what they are being paid for, is to go in the house and represent us when it's time for you to go in there and represent us. And we're grateful that you have been doing so in the past couple of, house sittings that they had, and have brought, some serious and credible opposition arguments to the fore, and have brought certain things to light. It's quite interesting and intriguing to hear, some of these positions, some of the information that these ministers would have taken the time out to research and to rebut and put forward as whether it's criticisms or questions and or queries, whereas the bills that were presented, were made. And so we continue to see a lot of that happening in the space, and we just encouraging our young people to be more, as I said, vigilant, pay more attention to, these things, whether it's parliament, whether it's, political meetings. Pay attention, learn as much as possible, so that you can be positive and make informed decisions for the future. Yeah, Bankie.
Yes, and we just had and next someone sending a message about the your question that about the 3 shows. Donna Hunt, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. The Everything Agriculture show from Friday to 7. And they have the medicine for the people Wednesday at 7. And the topics, it just had Tuesdays, it just at 7 p.m., but should be 8 o'clock. But with all this 99.999%, they want the 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
she deserve a book.
Yeah, yeah.
So Donna, you will get a book. I mean, we have to work it out how to get it to Georgia. We'll have to figure that out and stuff like that. But definitely, is an ardent listener, so we appreciate her listening and stuff like that, and also share the links and stuff like that. So definitely, she'll be getting a book also, just like Owen. Owen will get in. It's all about finance, and definitely, it will be something that it will be well used, and that each household need to get one of these. So definitely, guys, for answering the question and paying attention. So it's not easy doing 3 shows a week, but we make sure we make the time and still have to make time for the family and everything. We make it work. So it's all about it's all about balance, and we appreciate you guys sticking around. I mean, this show is dedicated to you guys as the viewers appreciation show. Next week Tuesday we'll continue the same thing on the topics, where we have also a next view appreciation show, and then Friday, yes, and we should have Jeddy, as you mentioned earlier, as our guest. Will be our first guest for the year for the Everything Agriculture show. Next week Friday we'll be starting next week. In the following Tuesday, the topics, I want to get him my boy Cabo, because I want to talk about small business and all, and the same time, and and which is the driving force behind the economy. So start of the year right with a farmer and with small business, and then the following we continue with anything else. But this is how really wanted to start off the year right, and then we end it in the same way going down. So we end it this year with a fisherman, same thing. We coming in again with what I mean, animal
Well,
and
Banky, and that's the thing, we demonstrate that we have people from all walks of life. It's not just the politicians, it's not just ministers of agriculture, but sorry, we do have the average individual, as Mull, the backyard gardener king. We had so many different people who just, you know, um, doing their own little thing, and we give them that opportunity to be on the platform and have a voice and reason with us. And so we definitely, demonstrate that by doing things like that. And we hope to continue doing just that. So you don't have to be anybody special, but everybody is special. But what I meant, you don't have to be let's say a political figure or anybody that is, high, um, dignified standing and so on to be on our program. It's open. Feel free to reach out to us, and we can't reach everybody, and we don't know everybody, but we are open to anybody reaching out to us. So what I mean, you look for Bankie, you look for Yahsonn, and you let us know you're interested and what your topic is, what you're interested in, talking about, and yeah, we give you a space. Nothing to that.
yes.
Um,
Let me say
so
big up Professor Knife, Professor McHale, those guys from the University of West Indies for coming out and showing the support and always willing. Also Garfield Alexander and just all those who come on, whoever been and those who all, as a guest, and also those who continue sharing the link, and those who subscribe and continue supporting us each week by each week by each week, and turn it on months by months, and turn it to years by years. We couldn't be doing this show without you guys, and for the support and the encouragement. We want to tell you thanks and thanks and thanks, and the word is just not enough. So it's important to show appreciation. Yes, son?
yeah, we got a call on the line. So hold on, caller. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you guys, man, the listeners home and abroad. I just want to comment the IDM for the years that you all been on the show and the other show on Tuesday. And it's really good to see that you guys, ended the year strong because like the guests that you guys been bringing on, you all surely has expanded at least in the second half of this year. It's been a great improvement. When you started rolling out these guests, it elevated the show really much, and the viewership and the listenership expanded pretty much. So I want to commend you guys for that. Okay, let me move forward. We're ending the year, and me personally, bro, I don't really like what I'm seeing in Sinkers and Nevis. This is just my personal view and my opinions. I don't like what I'm seeing in the Federation of Sinkers and Nevis. We're not advanced. We are a small island state, and we are not advancing fast enough or progressing fast enough. The attitude and the mentality of the people got to change. It's a battle between the people and the politicians. The politicians got the people one way, and the people got the politicians one way, another way, or one way. So we're gonna be. I see us gonna be here. The system need to be broken. The system is real corrupted, man, to the maximum level that we don't even understand. The place is super duper corrupted. The judicial system is corrupted as well. Man, we don't want to do the work, bro. People are calling for the electoral reform and the constitutional reform. And none of it came in 42, 43 years. And I really don't came to the conclusion. Sinkis and Nevis is in a financial crisis, and we're in a political crisis as well. These guys are not operating with any transparency. They're doing all manner of evil to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. They talk that big talk, use all of these big words, but they cannot fool all the people all the time. The people just gotta pay attention and listen carefully to some of these guys, even to their words. When I was a youth growing up, my parents and my grandparents told me, wherever there's a liar, there's gonna be a thief. And we already seen right in front of our eyes how much these guys are lying to us. And if these guys are lying to us, what do you think they're doing behind the scenes? Bro, they're stealing the money. It's no doubt about it. We traveled to the VI, we traveled to St. Martin, we traveled down to the BPI, we traveled up to the United States, UK, Canada, and we see when transformation comes. But I'm gonna tell you, man, you sit down there in St. Thomas, bro. A lot of us went down to St. Thomas. St. Thomas is like just about the same size like Nevis, but the place was really populated back in the days. Right now, I don't know about now, but I heard they have so much issues there with water and with electricity. It seems like it's a phenomenon that's hitting the whole Caribbean right about now. But in our small island space, St. Kitts and Nevis, that big word that the Prime Minister liked to throw out, sustainability. We cannot be sustainable without our lands. But that's just impossible. You two gentlemen here are experienced farmers, successful farmers. And we know, bro, them same sweet potato you talk about that some of the students couldn't identify, bro, unless you're going to start growing sweet potato in the air, we need our lands. We need our lands to do that. We know they have a lot of techniques to grow crops, but the conventional way is with the land, and that's what most of us know. The premier went to Bermuda. He encouraged the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis to come home. If they give away the land, what are those people are gonna come home too? Man, we see what's going on in the United States, and I'm gonna try to start wrapping it up. We see what's going on in the United States, right? With their immigration policy. Well, if it's left up to Trump, he will kick out all black and brown people out of America. So if he kicks us out of America, right, and we fall back to Nevis, where are we gonna go? Where are we gonna sleep? Or where are we gonna live? Or which lands are we gonna farm on? If we give away all of our lands, the people that gotta rise up, man. We might have to go back and study that Buckley's uprising story and find a way to mobilize and to bring our minds to where those slaves' minds were. They fought against the injustices. And we of modern day, we don't have the courage. And I'm just going to encourage all the persons in the Federation that has they're scared to come on the mic. We can start there. I'm encouraging those persons in the new year who have ideas and solutions and, who want to hear out their views and opinions. Don't be scared to call in on these shows. And I'm gonna take it to another level when the new year comes, bro. I'm gonna start calling some names. Because in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, some persons, there's so much on the party line, they don't want to come off of it, not even for 1 second. Man, that Destiny Project and that SSC is so disappointing, man, to see where our leaders are trying to take St. Kitts and Nevis, that we're supposed to have a big mobilization. No doubt about it. We need to stop splintering. Tom is over there, Jerry is over here, Angela is down in the cut, and Jerry trying to be up on the top. Man, we gotta get past that. We gotta get past that mentality and come together and unite. If we don't stand up to this stuff going into the new year, bro, when the premier put the signature on the documents, it's all over.
I hear you, Carla.
Right now, we're still guys, let me just hammer home this last point. Man, we still had a chance to stop them. But when them signatures goes on them contracts, you hear what the Premier said? The default liability of the governments and the fact that they're not giving them a chance to repeal the SSC law. That is where it's gonna lie. Man, you think Destiny is East Coast and sing? Man, let them mess with Destiny and see and default and any signature they put their names on. You will see Destiny own Nevis after that. And I'll leave it there, man. I wish the Federation of Sinkers and Nevis the best going forward in the new year. And one of my best shows, I'm gonna just put it to the last one you had with Fox because it was such a grassroots person, a local fisherman, Fox. I was happy you guys brought him on because we got as closest to the hood as we possibly can. And I was thankful for him making his contribution. I'll leave it there, man. You guys have a good night.
Yeah, man, you too, Carla. Thank you very much for your
appreciate it.
And as we talk about ardent listeners, Bobby Jones has been an ardent listener from even back on 2020 Vision Radio back and has been making over the years. I like the fact that he ended with this show that he liked, and the rationale or reason he gave for the show as well is quite fitting, because a lot of people say that the show was down to earth, and we generally do that. Like we said earlier, it's not just about the people who are high up and the politicians and the other significant people in society. But
no,
we
all are
do
welcome, man. We work with everybody equal, In my eyes, everybody equal. The politician ain't no difference than the man who cleaned the drain. It's a collective effort. That's how we look at things. So nobody here all are equal. And
we would have exhausted our 2-hour session already. It's already 2 hours and 6 minutes. But we want to say good evening to Janet Grell Hall. She's saying good evening. I guess she probably logged in a little bit late. But also another ardent listener, veteran, travel agent, netballer, businesswoman, highly respected and decorated here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And she also takes her time out to listen to the program and would give her, critique when necessary. And I like people like these who, could say a lot more, could do a lot more, but would also encourage you. And if needs be, I could speak for myself. She would call me, message me, whatever the case may be. And if she has something to tell me, if it is about me and something that I'm doing and how I'm going about doing it and so on, and she feel that, you could do X, Y, or Z, or you could do it that way and so on. And I am open to that, and she would tell you that. I mean, I'm open to constructive criticism, and I give her that respect because I know her as a very, professional businesswoman over the years. And so when you have people like those who may be listening and would want to give you advice and so on, I am very much open to that. Bankie, as I speak, I see another caller coming in. I'll give this caller 1 minute. We're wrapping up, caller, so I'm going to give you 1 minute to make your comment. So good evening, welcome, Mr. Welcome.
Yes, good night, Bankie. Good night.
Speak a little louder. Speak a little louder to the phone. Put your mouth so we could hear you.
Yes, I got it. I got you. I say once again, good night, Brother Bankie. Good night, Yahsonn.
Good night.
First of all, I know it's the end of the year, and I must say, I thank you guys for the exposure in me uttering my quest for this next upcoming election. But overall, I was introduced by Earl B. Jones, and ever since that I've been hooked on the show. You all have done, as I look back at some shows that I never contributed to, have done very well. And what a good bang in going out for the new year to come. But if I may step aside from that, I have something very sad to say from a journalist, a well-known journalist, the DJ Mary Show. He is a man of seeking the truth for all of us, and all of us are together. Because what we are trying to do is to make a better St. Kitts and Nevis moving forward, and to get rid of these unknown, untransparent deals that our leaders who we elected are doing and have done and continue. And these things must be stopped. But dark clouds is not going to stay over our head all the time. There will be the bursting of the bubbles. Now, I listened to live with DJ Mary Show about 2-3 days ago, and that is in respect to the Ramada. However, it started, he decided to do some inquiry, and yes, we found out the curiosity, it was a reality. Now, whatever the Ramada and however the Ramada came into existence, it seems as though that the Ramada has been sold. And going back to our leaders, making deals, these dealers who they are dealing with end up selling. And it's all about profit off of our patrimony. What do we get? We get nothing, and we lose our lands. And it's going rapid. Now, here is it. The DJ was trying to get access to the beach in St. Paul's around the Ramada that is close to the Bayfront. And guess what? He was met and intercepted by dogs. And then the owners did not, or the so-called owners, which are Chinese, refused to allow him to go any further because they have their dogs, and they call the police on the man. That is public property he was on. He was on the public road. And the securities that have eyes on the Ramada refuse and give it their perspective. The thing is, I include our police because police was called. Those our police have a document.
Mr. Welcome. I must tell you, right? I'm going to give you about 30 more seconds to wrap up, but this discussion, I mean, it's important, yes. I did see a bit of that program. However, tonight we were not trying to get into some of these details. We're going to leave those for another program. Tonight we were just basically giving you and the others an opportunity to, if you want to call in like you did earlier and talk about, the contribution of the program and so on, that's basically what it was for. And also too, maybe if you had called a bit earlier, we probably would have given you the time, but we're already over time. So I didn't really want to have you go into further details. So just take 30 seconds and whatever you want to say within that to wrap up, and then.
I will yield to that utterance. But like I said, as I made my opening statement, you all started doing well and continue to do well, and you all are very, very good expert at the craft that you are doing. And I pray for the new year, you all will be recognized tenfold as to moving forward. And let us work together in harmony, and may God bless you and all the listeners and the concerned citizens. I will leave it right there. Thank you again for the wonderful, brilliant, miraculous job that you all have done.
Thank you very much, Carla. And we look forward to your contribution, your continued contribution as we continue to build the platform, and look forward to having you on the platform in the new year as well. So thank you very much, and we look forward to having you. Bankie, as the caller, would have mentioned there, we have been doing a wonderful job, and we really want to continue to encourage, the platform to be open for people like him and all of the other people who may have some issues or concern. Um, um, that's basically what we're here for. Non-bias, seeking to solve problems, seeking to get answers to the questions that we may have and other people in the public may have. We seek to bring people of all walks of life to the platform. We have everything agriculture. We one of the things that we didn't highlight, Bankie, this evening is that on everything agriculture, the last week in every month is dedicated to the cannabis topic, and it's the only platform in the federation that takes on the issue of cannabis head on. So we must also highlight that, and we must give kudos to Real Entertainment Network for us to continue to have such a platform to do this. Donna says, much admiration and respect for you both, Bankie and Yahsonn. I enjoy your show so much and appreciate what you and your team do. Continued success in the new year. And so, Donna, definitely we want to thank you and many of the others who do listen and do, give us these, credence. And we look forward to all of those who give us the accolades and whatever other, whatever other glory they want to give us. I also want to mention, like you said, Bankie, you're not trained in the field of journalism, and I am not either. So when Mr. Welcome and the others talk about our expert work and so on, we definitely have to take it, and just humbly take it, because the reality is none of us are officially trained, so to speak, in the space, but we do what we can, and we are grateful. We're definitely grateful that you find that what we do is very professional and worth your time and efforts, because some of you who are speaking to us are different parts of the world, whether in England and so on, where the time zone is totally different. Bankie, I'm going to give you the opportunity for closing remarks, because our team may have other things to do as well, and so we don't want to, expand the time too much. We know we want to give as much as possible, so we're giving our listeners a little extra time, and we are grateful that Ira and the rest of the guys behind the scenes are very patient and so on with us as we ramble off our closing and so on. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to close off, and then we just close off the program for this evening.
Well, just want to thank all those who answered the question, Donna and Owen, for answering the questions, and all those who made their comments. Great, and those who call in. Greatly appreciate you guys who tune in every evening, whether it's on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or Fridays, and show your support to us, and to see that you have that interest when it comes to what is the topics of either of the shows, and you have that confidence in Yahsonn and myself for giving you all the information. And all the shows are educational shows. We want it to be different. We don't hold sides. If anyone anyone who want to be a guest or have any queries, any issues on the job or whatever it is, we bring it here and call out whoever it is. We don't butt up things. We don't like people who get advantage of our workers. Whatever the issue is, we get it solved. That's what we hear about. We are community show, and we're doing the community work for the people. For those we speak for those who can't speak. You watch the movie Ghost with Whoopi Goldberg and what is my name again? Yahsonn.
It was
Whoopi Goldberg. What they got?
Danny Glover. It was Danny Glover.
Ghost man with Danny Glover. No. Ghost, Patrick Swayze, you know about that.
Patrick Swayze.
I
Yes,
am just,
yes.
I'm Whoopi Goldberg. I'm the medium. So the ancestors sit and speak, but they take a vex with me. And when they speak from the ancestors, I'm just the medium. So nobody vex with me. So yes, just a light moment. Yes. So yes, thanks again for. It's been a whole year. It's coming at the end of the year. It's the 26th. Next week Tuesday we'll have another viewers appreciation show on the topics. We're bringing all the different politicians and different on that particular show. So you all get a chance to speak and what you want to speak to, and give your critique of Yahsonn and myself, how we handle the interviews or whatever it is. And we appreciate that. So definitely looking forward for that show and continuing the following Friday. We have already have our guests booked already and continue bringing the guests and engaging the guys. But definitely, yes, and this year ending the year is not ending well when it comes to the Destiny Project. It's not something I think gonna ever be in further. We'll be here fighting to save our island where the leaders we put in place to lead the country right have just and think it's okay. And right now the people are so divided. I'm not think this will ever bring back our people together. This is the mother of all holy grail where you want to bring 10,000 families and think that will sit well within the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, especially the people of Nevis. Whoever think that decision will, they have dropped the ball big time. And anyone who do something like that does not deserve to be in government. Neither in Nevis and neither in St. Kitts. None of them, all who agree with this policy here, shall not be in government. They don't have no love for their country. Okay, this is what our ancestors and those before us wanted when it comes to independence. And now we come to give away back all our land and encourage us to give our land for large development like these. It shows where all people are. If this were brightness cars for with all these colors we have in there and all these doctors behind the name and doing these kind of things, we don't need to be people something is wrong with us. It shows greed is really at its highest farm right there. It's all about money, Virgin. It's all about selling passport. CBI, the gentleman said it's a CBI project. Premier decided it's a CBI project and they can't run from it. It's all about selling passports. So it showed there's, and there is unlimited amount of passports in the end to it. So I want to say thanks again for those who tuning in on the Everything Agriculture show. It's the end of the year, the last show for the year. And I want to say thanks for all the support throughout the year. And big up yourself. Enjoy the rest of the season. And all those who are partying and having fun, always have a designated driver and always be aware of your surroundings. All right? Thanks again and all the best for the new year when it comes. And stay safe. Yahsonn?
Yeah, man. Enough respect, guidance, and protection. Give thanks, everybody. Look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday, when we have another viewer appreciation. Thank all of you, all of our listeners, all of our supporters for all of the years. Thanks to the Real Entertainment Network team, the patience, whatever we have to do behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know. It's an international show. Our technical team is all the way in Miami, and we are based in the Caribbean. People, enough love, everybody. Ira, Alan, Reese, the whole network. Give thanks. We didn't even mention the road march champions and stuff but we'll do that Tuesday. Thank everybody. Thank all of you who are now dropping in your comments. Adams, Maplin, and so on. Good show, they said. Thank everybody. See you guys next week, Tuesday. So remember, before we leave, I just want you to remember this. It doesn't cost you anything. And this is the only thing we are asking of you. Go to the YouTube platform. Look for Real Entertainment Network. Like, subscribe, share. Click on the notification bell so that you are informed every time we have a program, and then you wouldn't have to worry. So we just want you to go. When you go and you subscribe, it adds to our numbers, our followers, and so on, and that's all we're asking you for. It doesn't cost you anything to do that. Just a minute or two of your time to do that. And that would be one of the best things that you can do for us without having to pay us anything. So thank you all very much. Real Entertainment Network, take it away. Love everybody. See you next week, Tuesday.
Miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Bankie and company alongside Yahsonn and It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture.